This is Big Guy DIY Robert coming to you with a repair that I'm doing. Really not a video on how to, but just showing a repair I need to do for someone. My son was hired to paint this cupola, and as he started on it, he noticed a lot of dry rot on the outside. This cupola sits on top of a garage at a friend's house, and so I went up onto the roof to take a look and inspect it. And yeah, there's quite a bit of dry rot on it, and so he asked if I could repair this. So let me show you what I got going here. So this is a cupola. It's not a really big one, relatively small. This is copper, and here's the top of it. So you got your grasshopper, and then there's your weather vane part. And all of this is copper. So I'm going to just leave it as is. But where we're having the rot are these end pieces here. Here. The corners are dry rotting. This is splitting. One side might be the opposite side, but we were taking chunks out of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be replacing this trim down here, the corner trim, this trim here along the top, this corner trim. This part here is solid wood, so I don't have to replace any of that. Yeah, see, here's, give you an idea, the dry rot. But it's kind of interesting is how this is cut. See how narrow this is? I don't know how wide it is here. Down here it's about 2 1/4 inch, and up here it's like, I don't know, 1 inch. I don't know if they cut that to try to make it fit the roof or what. When I did pull it off, you can probably see it better on this side, is they rubber siliconed it to the roof. So I think when I take these pieces off, I'm just going to draw them onto the new wood I got, which is here. Now this is plastic wood. That's kind of dumb to say. This is plastic. So instead of replacing this with the pine that's been used, I'm just going to use plastic instead, and this way it'll last a little longer. So I gotta take these weathered pieces off, sand it down, paint it, and then cut all the new pieces on here. So I'm just gonna set the camera up on time lapse and have you watch me do the repair. Oh, and I also gotta replace this. I'm not sure about that. Obviously they drove a screw into a knot, and that knot popped out. But I think I might replace this with pressure treated wood, like with a block, because the thickness of this is 1.5 inches, and that's the same thickness of this piece of pressure treated wood. So I can just cut it to reach these angles and then paint it. All right, let's get this time lapse going. So I decided to take this completely apart because I found the edges, let's grab this, are really dry rotted badly to a point where I'm just breaking this off by hand. I mean, I'm pressing my thumb right into it. So down here, so I'm just gonna, the top of the cupola is fine. All the lats are still in good shape. This actually gives me an opportunity. I can put a screen in here, from here up to the top, and do that all the way around. Because when I remove this cupola, there'll a whole bunch of hornets nests and wasp nests inside. So I can put a screen in there and try to prevent them from coming in through here. That'll be nice, and they won't ruin it from the inside. But here's an idea. Of the dry rot that's here. What's interesting is these are two pieces, which I was kind of surprised. You can see there's a seam there. So what they did is, I can see right here is a lump. There's another lump. And right down here. So they drove finished nails in. So this top piece, if we can take a look at here, they're cutting out a 45-degree angle, and then you have your regular piece starting here and coming all the way down. So this one piece I left on because it's actually in good shape overall. I really don't need to do anything with it. But that was kind of interesting how they did a 45-degree angle. So what I need to do is I got to buy new wood and treat it first, and then actually I gotta buy 2 pieces of wood here. So this looks like about 3.5 inch on the top, and this one here is probably 12 inches. Let's see here. Yeah, 11 inch, so it'll be 12-inch piece of wood, 1 by 12. So we'll go out and buy some new wood, and meanwhile I'm going to kind of clean this up a little so I'll paint the inside here. It's almost, I don't know if this is dirt or mold, but we'll pressure wash it and see how it comes out. So from the cupola, I saved 2 sides. This is the roof side. So I need 2 of these. And then this is the front and back. So if this is on the roof, it would slope away this way, the roof line. So what I bought, let me show you the lumber I picked up. I got what I call plastic wood. So I bought 12-footer, and then I bought 2 8-footers, the corners, and then the small trim pieces. The cupola. So there's the corners, and then your small trim pieces will go around this upper edge. Let's see what else do I got here. Oh, so that, see, 2, 4, those 5 pieces were $100. That plastic stuff. And here's my lumber. This is pine, but it's a higher grade pine, when you go to Lowe's, it's kind of interesting, is the cheap grade pine, they label it as white board versus just calling it pine. And then you go to another side in their aisles and they got a much higher grade pine with almost no knots in it whatsoever. So this costs 75 bucks. This is two 8-footers. One is 11 inches wide, and then the bottom piece right here, or the top piece, if you can see it, is 5 inches. Because this is made with 2 pieces, so it's going to be a little higher than normal. This here, from the outside edge, which is cut at 45-degree angle, because that goes under the louver. This is 4 inches. I'm just going to make it 5 inches. No big deal. Just means this is going to sit on the roof, possibly a little lower. So right now, I need to cut this in half because it's too long. And then I got to start cutting this wood into these lengths. So we're going to set this on time lapse and let her rip. Well, that didn't take long to mess up. So I got my side pieces, my roof pieces, and then I had cut this trim. This was not supposed to be for this piece. This is supposed to be the top, which means this piece here. So mess that up. So I gotta go out and rebuy that lumber. But the side is done. This is the bottom outside trim. Goes like this. And more than likely I will have to cut this up in order to fit the roof. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach it to this piece, and I can get up onto the roof, and then there's a portion of the crown of the roof, the tip, where the shingles have been removed. So I can place this one piece and then trace the shingles onto the side and cut that out to fit the shingle shape of the crown on the roof on the shingles. So that's my other piece. I should switch this. So that's done. This is my front or back. And then this is the second piece. I'll go on there. So I'm at a stopping point. I can't cut the bottom trim that goes on here that'll go on the front and back, meaning this piece, because it's going to be longer than that. So it has to cover both this end and this end. So it'll be long enough to cover these. So it'd be easier to cut that last, because then I can measure it once I have it reassembled on the cupola back onto here. So I'm gonna repurchase that, and then I gotta run it over my table saw and put a 45-degree angle on it. Let's see here. Here's the 45 right there, and that fits underneath the louvers right here. Now I do have a sliding miter saw, but that's at a job site, so I'm just using my backup miter saw, and it works fine. I'm happy with it. I've had this thing for like, I don't know, 30 years. Maybe a Craftsman, but it gets them cut. So we will come back to this later. So back to the cupola. This is, I think, the front. Remember, this is 2 pieces in order to get this size. So this is 11 inches from here to here, and then this is 4 inches. So to get 2 pieces together, I am going to use what they call a dado kit. Or sorry, dowel kit. I bought this thing, geez, it's got to be 25, 30 years ago. It's pretty straightforward. You can see by the picture how it holds the wood. And so right now I got one board in here, but I got to change that because, let's see here, I have it done wrong. I think I have it installed wrong. Yeah, I do. Supposed to have the board on the bench instead of board on the thing, and then I can put the 2 boards together. So let me stop this, and I'm going to fix this. All right, so now I got it set up correctly. Board sits on the bench. So using my 3 different holes that I want to use, 3 different dowels I can use. I'm using the largest one, which is a 3/8. I've already marked my boards, you can see here, with the line I want. So what I do is, this is your straight line on the back of the kit. So you match your line up through the hole with this. So you got a straight line all the way through. And you just grab any drill bit you have, and they give you a collar on here so you can set the depth of how far you want this to go in. So what I usually do is I set, if I get it to stay, I'm going to take my dowel, see if this kickstand will work. Sorry about the angle, I don't have my camera thing. So I can take my dowel, that's this, hold it against here, and then make a small mark on how deep I want to go. Then, and I take my drill, match the tip of my drill to the depth of that, and then tighten my collar. So now when I drill in, I'm not going to go any deeper than what I have it set for. We put our drill bit in our drill. And the way this set up is you're drilling both holes in both boards at the same time. Loosen just the top screws. And loosen the bottom ones. Flip it around. So now when you put the one that drills the holes, the template, you line it up first with your line. Tighten it. Then you line up your second piece with your line. Again, looking through the back of the template. And then tighten. So you get a better look at this tool. So quarter, middle one's 3/8, outside one is 5/16. So you're drilling through both these holes. So the bottom hole is going into the bottom board, and then the top set of holes is going into the top board. So my dowels now match up. Identical to my lines. That's how a dowel kit works. So I have one more to do at the moment because I still have to cut my lengths to fit this. This is the roof part, and so I went up on the roof. As you look at this, it looks kind of funky the way it's cut, but I traced this, and this is actually my shingle pattern on the roof. So this will fit snug against the shingle, so I won't have to use as much silicone to seal this. But this too has to get the second piece added on up there. So it's kind of interesting how the difference is. As you can see, I label it. This means house side, this means outside. So this is going facing out towards the end of the garage, and this is facing towards the house on top of the garage. That's my labeling. So I've already gone through and done one coat of paint on it. I've also done a couple of coats of paint on my top here. I want to do one more coat. I've also used spray paint. That's to get into areas that I can't get with the paintbrush. But this here, I definitely got to do one more coat. Even though it has 2 coats of paint on it previously, we're going to do 4 coats just so it's a little sturdy. And then I'm going to try, I'm not sure if I can do it, but cut netting, not netting, screen. Like, you know, a backdoor screen. Put screen in here to stop the wasps from getting in here and creating these big nests inside. So let me get cutting with the other 2 pieces for this cupola, and then 3 more pieces, and start assembling this cupola, and I'll set the camera up for the assembly so as I do this. All right, thanks. New toy I got. I don't know how well it shows up on the camera. My saw shows 45. So I'm checking the angle of the blade. There. It's a digital readout. And I have 45.1. Let's see here. Pretty sensitive. Yeah, 45.1. So that's the angle of my blade. If I go straight up. So I'm just about flat. So this is the tool. It's magnetic, so it'll stick to anything that you want. Bought this on Amazon. Oops. There we go. So I got this. I got that tool, and then I got this tool. And this is a digital ruler, so turn it on. It's already zeroed out. And what I'll do is as I open it, it reads me the angle, the inside angle or the outside angle. So anything I put it up against, 89.9. So it's just about 90. Same company. It was a package. Honestly, I don't know what it costs off the top of my head, but it was like, I don't know, in the 30s maybe. I'll put it in the text showing you what I paid for these things, but they've been very helpful actually in the last couple days between doing some work on the deck, and I've always was curious about my saw blade on my table saws, as well as my miter saws, the two miter saws I own, that one and this Cobalt one. I checked the Cobalt one, and the setting for 45-degree angle going this way was dead on. So, all right, back to this thing. Back to the cupola. So my top is all done. It's all painted. Looking nice and clean. My sides that I glued, the two pieces together, are done. My custom cut that I traced the roof line onto is done. So the next thing I'm going to do is This is just a backing plate that'll go on the inside. This is the outside we're looking at currently. I'm going to staple these onto the back. Even though the joint has the dowel in it and glued, I'm just doing this for extra hold for the long run. And then once that's done, I then have to do the trim. The trim on this will have to be cut. Let's see here. As you can see where it is, I have to install this and then cut it on the back side. Hold this, as you can see. So I have to trim that to match the roof edge. So we're going to put this in time lapse, and I'm going to add the trim on, and then yeah, start assembling the box itself. So here's my inside, my back side. So this is what I gotta cut right here on the trim to match it. This is my front side. So what I did is I countersunk my screws using 1 1/4 screw with a Gorilla Glue that will glue metal, plastic, and wood. And that way I have a clean front on this. So 1 down, 3 more sides to do. All right, we're getting there. So I just took my nail gun, went in the sides here, 2.5 inch galvanized nails on the leading edge here as well as over there, and then countersunk my screws two around the corners. So I have some other trim to do on this. I know I got to do this side, connect this piece, but I got to try to remember I have small flat trim that's supposed to go on here, and I can't remember where the heck it goes. I know I'm going to rework this corner here so you can see. So maybe this corner edge comes in, I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But that's it so far for tonight. So this is where I'm at. Cut off my corners here. Obviously I got to paint those. I found out what the flat sections were supposed to be for that I purchased. So that's what this is. Corners installed. These are rad nailed in. Had to do a short piece here. I'm not worried about the detail on here because of where it's going to be sitting on the roof. But I've already pre-drilled my holes. So as I did this side, we're not showing anything from the outside. So I had to go out and purchase another piece. Kind of aggravating. I only needed 23 inches, but I have to buy 12 feet of this stuff. 40 bucks. What a pain in the ass. So we're going to cut this piece, and then I'm going to show you what I can do next. So I'm just going to put this in time lapse and continue on busting out on this one. Alright, the rebuilding of the cupola is all done. So this trim, and all the way across, this is all plastic. These corner trims are also plastic. Try to prolong the life of the thing. One thing I'm going to apply in the corners all the way around, as well as the top here and down there, is this. This is white silicone. As you can see, it's for outdoors. Lifetime guarantee, won't blemish, shrink, or crack. The reason why I am applying it to here is I want to reduce the chance of rain of getting in between the wood and the plastic and rotting the wood out prematurely. So by siliconing this area here all the way around, and then the top part all the way down, all the way around, as well as the roof part, is to prevent that water from getting in there and prolonging the life of the wood. So that's it for this cupola. So if you got any questions or comments, rifle them down below in the comments section, and I'll try to answer any of the questions that I'm capable of doing. And this is Big Guy DIY signing off. Give me a thumbs up if this was interesting, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Take care.